Hey there, crime enthusiasts. Welcome to our live deep dive into the world of power, pleasure, and pain. Today, we're exploring Chapter 5 of Sean Dupree's gripping book, Power, Pleasure, and Pain. This chapter takes us on a journey through the dark corridors of power dynamics and abuse, spanning centuries of human history. We'll uncover how the seeds of exploitation planted by figures like the infamous Marquis de Sade have grown into the towering trees of abuse we see in our modern world. From Hollywood moguls to music industry titans, we'll examine how power continues to corrupt and how victims struggle to break free from its grasp. Get ready for a raw, unfiltered look at the mechanisms of control that have shaped our society. Let's dive in! Chapter 5 of Power, Pleasure, and Pain takes us on a chilling journey through time, revealing the dark threads that connect historical figures to modern-day abusers. Sean Dupree masterfully illustrates how the abuse of power has remained a constant throughout history, from the notorious Marquis de Sade to contemporary celebrities like Harvey Weinstein and Sean Diddy Combs. The chapter delves into the psychological and sociological aspects of power dynamics, showing how wealth, status, and influence have been wielded as weapons against the vulnerable. Dupree draws parallels between Sade's notorious writings and the actions of modern-day abusers, highlighting how the blueprint for exploitation has evolved yet remained fundamentally unchanged. What's particularly striking is how Dupree connects the dots between historical and contemporary cases, revealing that the methods used to silence victims and manipulate public perception have persisted across centuries. The chapter exposes the systemic issues that allow such abuse to continue, challenging readers to confront uncomfortable truths about society's role in enabling powerful figures to act with impunity. Through meticulous research and compelling storytelling, Dupree forces us to reckon with the fact that the fight against abuse of power is far from over. This chapter serves as a wake-up call, urging us to recognize these patterns and take action to break the cycle of abuse that has spanned generations. Let's dive deeper into the heart of Chapter 5. Sean Dupree draws a chilling parallel between historical figures and modern-day abusers, showing how power dynamics have remained largely unchanged over centuries. The Marquis de Sade, infamous for his cruel and licentious writings, serves as a starting point. His work, particularly The 120 Days of Sodom, wasn't just fiction. It was a manifesto of sorts, laying bare the twisted logic of those who use power to dominate and abuse others. Dupree argues that de Sade's philosophy of libertinage, the idea that personal pleasure trumps all moral considerations, set a dangerous precedent that still echoes today. Fast forward to our times, and we see these same dynamics at play in the case of Harvey Weinstein. As a powerful Hollywood producer, Weinstein used his position to exploit and abuse dozens of women over decades. His tactics, using his influence to coerce, threaten, and silence his victims, mirror the abuses of power that de Sade wrote about centuries earlier. Similarly, the recent allegations against Sean Diddy Combs showcase how wealth and status continue to be wielded as weapons of control and manipulation. The music industry, like Hollywood, has its own power structures that can enable and cover up abuse. Dupree's book delves into how these power dynamics create a perfect storm for abuse. Those in positions of power often feel entitled to exploit others, while their victims face enormous challenges in speaking out. The book explores how survivors in both historical and modern cases confront similar obstacles: societal indifference, shame, and victim blaming. What's particularly disturbing is how these patterns repeat themselves across different eras and industries. Whether it's the aristocracy of de Sade's time or the entertainment industry of today, those with power often use it to silence and control others. Dupree's analysis goes beyond just pointing out these parallels. He examines the societal structures that allow such abuse to continue unchecked. From legal systems that favor the powerful to cultural norms that discourage speaking out, the book paints a comprehensive picture of why abuse of power persists. But it's not all bleak. By understanding these dynamics, we can start to challenge and change them. Dupree's work serves as a call to action, urging us to recognize and confront these abuses of power wherever we see them. Now I want to hear from you, our amazing viewers. We've talked about these high-profile cases, but let's dig deeper. Why do you think these powerful figures often get away with abuse for so long? Is it their wealth, their connections, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe you have personal experiences or insights that could shed light on this complex issue. Your voice matters in this conversation, and let's take this discussion beyond our live stream. Head over to Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook and use the hashtags #PowerDynamics and #StopAbuse to join the wider conversation. Your perspective could help others understand these issues better. While you're commenting, I'll be keeping an eye out for your responses. In a few minutes, I'll highlight some of your thoughts and we can discuss them together. Remember, it's through open dialogue that we can work towards changing these deeply rooted power dynamics. So don't hold back. Let's hear what you think about why society often protects these high-profile abusers and what we can do to change it. Now, if you're ready to truly understand the deep-rooted connections between power, control, and abuse throughout history and in our modern world, you need to get your hands on Power, Pleasure, and Pain by Sean Dupree. This book is not just another true crime story. It's a profound exploration of how power dynamics have enabled abuse for centuries. Dupree's work brilliantly links historical figures like the Marquis de Sade to contemporary scandals involving Harvey Weinstein and Sean Diddy Combs. It offers insights that will fundamentally change how you think about abuse and the structures that allow it to persist. By reading Power, Pleasure, and Pain, you'll gain a unique perspective on why these abuses continue to happen even in our supposedly enlightened times. You'll understand the psychological and sociological factors at play and how they've remained consistent from the 18th century to today. This book is essential reading for anyone who wants to make sense of the headlines we see every day. It provides context and depth that news reports simply can't offer. Whether you're interested in history, psychology, or current events, Power, Pleasure, and Pain has something valuable to offer you. Don't miss out on this opportunity to educate yourself and join the conversation about these crucial issues. Get your copy of Power, Pleasure, and Pain now. The link to purchase is right below this video. Click it, buy the book, and prepare to have your eyes opened to the hidden dynamics shaping our world. And that brings us to the end of today's live stream. Thank you all for joining me as we delved into the dark realities of power dynamics and abuse discussed in Chapter 5 of Power, Pleasure, and Pain. Your engagement and thoughtful comments have made this conversation even more impactful. Next week, we'll be exploring Chapter 6, which uncovers the chilling parallels between historical cults and modern-day influencer culture. You won't want to miss it. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and follow us on social media to stay updated on future streams. And remember, to truly grasp the depth of these issues, grab your copy of Power, Pleasure, and Pain through the link in the description. Let's continue this crucial conversation and work towards a world where abuse of power is no longer tolerated. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and keep questioning the status quo. Power, Pleasure, and Pain. A study of abuse through time. This book provides a detailed examination of how sexual violence and power dynamics have manifested across different historical periods, from ancient civilizations to the modern era. It explores how figures in positions of power used their influence to manipulate and exploit others, showing that the patterns of abuse we see today have deep historical roots. Many people struggle to grasp why abuse of power, particularly sexual violence, persists in modern society. By connecting historical events with contemporary cases, the book offers crucial insights into why such behaviors remain prevalent. The book analyzes infamous cases such as those of Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, and Dominique Pellicotte, drawing parallels between them and historical figures. This section highlights how the systemic abuse seen in recent times is not a new phenomenon, but part of an ongoing cultural issue. Through the lens of these modern examples, readers will gain a better understanding of how institutions, wealth, and power have historically shielded perpetrators from justice, contributing to their ability to continue harming others. The book explores the philosophy of libertarianism, particularly through the works of Marquis de Sade, to explain the disturbing ways in which pleasure, power, and cruelty have been intertwined. This provides readers with a deeper philosophical context to interpret modern-day scandals. Unlike other studies that focus solely on historical or contemporary cases, this book uniquely blends both, offering a full spectrum of how how abuse is tied to power dynamics. It stands out by making philosophical connections that help readers understand the deeper societal issues at play.